Welcome to the very first episode of Communication Error, a gaming debate podcast where we may not always agree with each other, but maybe if we listen to what one another has to say, we'll be able to fix our communication error. I'm one of your hosts, Cheesy,
And
and
I'm wow.
yeah,
So the last time you stopped there,
mm-hmm,
and so
yeah.
I was
This
ready.
time I didn't. Just for so I was gonna give you the spotlight instead of
Okay.
you just coming in. But Johnny, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm Johnny Bo, JOHNIIBO, and this is I'm
And
excited. So this is the first official Communication Air podcast.
yeah. And for those that maybe don't know what the podcast is, we did put out a preview episode. But if you could just maybe fill them in as far as what are we doing? What is this?
Yeah. So this is a gaming debate podcast. So each week we'll choose a topic and go back and forth, see each other's points of view, and hopefully come out of it better people.
Yeah. And we're also going to have community driven episodes. So everything that we are talking about tonight, maybe you have your own say and you want to put in your own opinion and thoughts, and you can put those in comments and across socials or in YouTube video or wherever. And we might pull some of what you had to say in our show for next week.
Yeah, we're actually. I think if we get enough comments, which I think this is a big topic and people will want to voice their own opinions, but if we get enough comments, we will do the next episode as community patch notes based on this topic that we're doing, which is what, Cheesy? What are we doing today?
We are talking about physical versus digital, and how do you feel about it? Are you on the side of buying physical copies for your games, or are you going more digital these days? But before we get into all of that, let's do some housekeeping. Where can people find you, Johnny?
So I'm Johnny Bo everywhere, JOHNIIBO, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch sometimes. Yeah,
And I am Cheesy C64, CHEEZYC 64, pretty much everywhere there John Ebo is at. I'm also there as well. I think, let's get into this. First of all, people should
hold
know.
on. We got one more housekeeping note.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this is a new podcast. Unfortunately, I don't have it up on every platform. We don't have it up on every platform yet. It's not on Apple yet. I'm going to figure that out. But Apple is a pain in my butt. But we are on Spotify and Google right now, and also YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a review on Spotify. And I don't know what Google does. I think you could just subscribe. And then Apple, once we get that, if you could write us 5-star reviews, that would be perfect. Spotify, you can't write anything. Just give us 5-star reviews.
Yeah, and so far I have to say, how much you have been supporting this podcast, you, the listener, has been amazing, because we've only put out like a preview episode, a few like posts, and we already have some 5 stars on Spotify, and also suggestions for future episodes. So thank you for that, and hopefully we can continue to give you the best, and you being able to support us through this journey.
One of those reviews is definitely not me.
Oh, okay. I will cross out that name then. Johnny, have you ever taken a debate class? Were you ever in like a debate class?
Maybe like long time ago in high school, probably.
Yeah.
Probably had like one debate in I think we did like mock trials and stuff like that.
Yeah, it wasn't so much like a class that you would go to, but it was like for some reason in your English class you were debating if how to kill a mockingbird, if the person was right or wrong. I don't know. It was weird, but yeah, I feel like we've had a couple of those, but now I feel like I'm a professional and I know how to debate someone. I have a pen, I have a journal right now, so I'm ready to go.
So I prepared for this. I prepared more for this than I ever have for a test or anything in life.
Yeah, it's not really like setting the bar high, but keep going.
So I'm ready. I'm prepared. I don't have a pen, but it's all up here. It's all up in my brain. I
Okay.
got my points, and I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Well, then why don't you start us off on physical versus digital?
All right, so physical gaming sucks, and whoever chooses to
Oh,
go
okay. So
physical
you're
is
on
just
digital.
completely wrong. Uh, oh yeah, I'm definitely on digital.
I just want to make sure I get that right in my notes.
What about you? I'm assuming you're physical, right?
I am physical. I love the idea of having a physical copy in my hand. I think it's very nostalgic. And I think there's many reasons that we can get into as far as to why I like physical. Why do you like digital so much?
So, I mean, the main reason is convenience, right? You don't have to go to a store. You don't have to insert a disc or a cart, and it's just convenient. I could just log on to the eShop or any of the online shops and just buy a game. Like I just bought Jedi Survivor on the Microsoft Store. I didn't have to go to GameStop or Target or anything like
Mhm.
that. Just convenience is the main factor. And I also don't like clutter, or maybe not so much clutter, but I like to display things. So you can see behind me I have, all the Lego and the Amiibo, and that's more of a display. But if I would have hundreds, like I have over 300 Nintendo Switch games, if I would have over 300 Nintendo Switch games on a bookcase, it wouldn't be a display. It's just I don't like that. I don't like how that looks at all.
I don't want to like bring partners into this, but your partner buys or reads a lot of books. Am I correct on
Yes,
that?
yes.
So what is the difference between displaying like a book on a bookshelf versus a game?
Okay, so fun fact, she doesn't buy books anymore.
Okay.
She doesn't buy physical books. She buys digital. So she reads on her Kindle. So she has also moved towards a digital library as opposed to physical. We do have, I mean, she has, we have we have an actual library in our house. I don't think I've ever
Mhm.
shown that to anybody, but we have one of, it's a bedroom. It's like a normal sized bedroom, but it's a library, and we have Billy bookshelves covering the walls. There's probably over 1,000 books in there,
Wow.
and because it was from her childhood
Yeah.
to like recently until she got more into the digital side. But she has thousands, multiples of thousands of books on her Kindle as opposed to in her space. And I do want to give her credit. I would not be able to design the room that I have the way that I did. Like these shelves behind me, I did not think of that at all. And
Yeah,
then
no, it's the same with my wife as well. Like or my partner, um, all of this that you're seeing in my background is like how Animal Crossing is. It's stressful because if you if you don't have the eye for design, it's gonna look
oh,
just
I
pure garbage.
yeah, it looks
And
awful.
yeah, yeah.
I
So I will say though, it sounds like your partner has books that like are connected to their childhood.
Yeah,
Do you have a lot of those games that you were playing when you were younger?
I do actually. So I have my original Super Nintendo that's right down here. Can't see it.
Hmm.
And then on I have media shelves on this side of me, and it's I have all of my Super Nintendo games from my childhood there. So, but again, it's not like they're a display piece. I don't ever use them. Like they're just there. Like the SNES isn't even hooked up. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just more for like collecting the sake of having it, right? And
yeah,
being a collector.
yeah.
For
Do you
me,
would you
like
have anything in there from your childhood? I see a GameCube behind you.
oh yeah, I have all of them. I've got it might be hard to see, but there's the NES, the Super NES, and then on top is the NES Classic with the Super NES Classic. I also have the N64 that is over here. Um, there's a Switch right there. GameCube that is skinned. and I've never like been a fan of skinning my products, but for some reason when I don't
I mean,
know,
you were
I saw
probably
this.
real young when you
I
had the
was.
GameCube, right?
So yeah, to for the audio listeners, my GameCube is a skin that has like green and black flames on it, and I just thought that was the coolest thing that I saw at Toys R Us that day. And honestly, like it gets a lot of like attention because people are like, "Is that a GameCube?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's my GameCube," and I will
And you,
never skin another product or another console or
well,
handheld.
you just have to spend
Uh,
$350 each time you want a new Nintendo
a
Switch
new
dock.
console. Right, right.
Oh wait,
And then
actually, in the video we cannot see the GameCube. My bad, I cut it off.
oh, womp womp.
Well,
That's
in the
okay.
video, you'll just have to think that there's a GameCube with green flames and wait, no, what do you
It's
say?
like it's green with black flames.
Okay, it's green with black
I'll take a
flames.
picture of it. I'll share it for
Okay, yeah,
everyone to
that, that
see.
works. That works. Yeah, write that down. Make sure you don't forget about it. You'll forget.
Got it. Got it. GameCube picture. Um I don't know. For me, like I really love physical games. Here is the deal when it comes to this topic. I'm fully aware at one point we are going digital. I get that. And like for the most part we have already. And if I'm being honest, like I think the gaming is still like the only physical thing that I hold on to because when it comes to movies, when it comes to shows, when it comes to albums, it's all digital. Um, I don't know what it is for gaming. I think it, like I said, it's very nostalgic. It reminds me of a time when you could go to like a Video King or Blockbuster and go rent those those games from the store. I personally still like going to a game store to pick up my games or products because I know that I have the certainty. Well, maybe not the certainty, but I have a better chance of being at the store and trying to get a particular item than I do online with scalpers. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, if you're
and
dealing with
that doesn't.
scalpers, that's a physical item anyway. So it's not like you're not dealing with online digital scalpers.
No, but it's and then, yeah, I kind of got away from like physical versus
Okay.
digital gaming, but like getting a new controller or a collector set or a console or whatever, if I can go wait in line to get whatever is I'm getting, I think I have a better chance of actually going to the store versus like trying to get it online that might be scalped.
You know what's interesting? I had the Tears of the Kingdom Switch pre-ordered on Best Buy,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to wait until 10 a.m. I wanted to get it at 8 a.m. So I went to Target at 8 a.m. as soon as they opened, and I
Hmm.
was able to ask them, and they went to the back and they got it. But there was a guy there, and I was talking to him for a little bit, and he was telling me how he was trying to get a physical collection now. He
Oh,
was digital, and then now he's going back to physical because he's I don't know the reasoning because he's older and he wanted discs or something. Weird.
how did that conversation even come up?
Oh, so he was there for Jedi Survivor, right?
Okay.
So I was standing near the Nintendo area, and he was standing by the PlayStation 5 area, and Jedi Survivor was a big release, so he's like, "Are you getting it as well?" And I'm like, "No, I got it last night. I got it digitally." And then
Hmm.
he's like, "Oh, I was gonna do that, but then I decided that I wanted to have a physical collection now, so I'm just buying games physically." So it was like a natural progression of a conversation. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
"Why do you like physical games? Get out of here."
Right. Right. You didn't like go up to them with a microphone and it's like, hey, answer this for me for our first episode.
That would have been epic, though. That would have been
Yeah.
epic.
Maybe you should do that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, look for
Yeah.
me in a Target near you.
I I think when it comes to physical games, it's very tough because we we had just recently with Metroid Prime remaster that got dropped and that was shadow dropped. So people could buy it digitally that day. I kind of felt left out because I was like, well, I could just buy it now. However, I know I'm gonna want the physical copy, which is just in a couple of days. So yeah, I had to wait for it, but I'm happy that I have a physical copy of Metroid Prime for Switch. And what does that mean? I don't know. I think it just means that I have
It was hard to find
collected.
too. It was hard to find. It was hard to
Yeah,
get the physical copy.
and if you get the physical copy, it has reverse like a reverse cover. So you
Now,
get that
is
as
it
well.
in
That's
your
like a
collection right
bonus.
now? Is it in your collection behind you right now?
Yeah.
Like behind that Switch that you have behind you?
Yeah. Well,
Where?
no, I think yeah, it is probably behind the
Exactly.
Switch, so
Where?
it's not really that well.
What is the point of the alternate cover if you're not even going to show it?
Well, but it's the fact that I have that, right? It's the option. It's the added bonus, I guess, for buying that game because you can't say that you have a different cover just with the artwork or
But
the.
why? Why? But why? Like, why is that a thing that you want to know that you have, and you're not showing it?
I can show it.
But like right now, so that is like my one of my reasonings for not getting physical games because I would be annoyed to have to try to find a game that I want to play in that stack every time.
But
Or do you not have your
alphabetical
games
order.
in there?
No, you just have it alphabetical order.
I
What
would
are you
not
talking about?
have the patience to do that.
You well, if you first have to learn your ABC, so I understand why that might be trouble for you. I think it's also just like this is something that we don't do very much anymore. But like sometimes you would lend a friend a game, or maybe they would lend you a game, and you can't do that with digital.
Okay. I knew this was going to come up. I knew it. I had it in my mind. I'm like, he's going to talk about friends. And then I'm going to have to admit that I don't have friends.
And checkmate.
Yeah, but no, I understand the sharing aspect. But like, since the world is changing, right? Since we were kids, it was different. We would go, well, I don't know what kids do nowadays, but when we were growing up, we would go to our friend's house, and that's how I played N64. I didn't have my own N64, but my friend did, so I would play GoldenEye there. I'd play a Mario Kart there as well. But now, we've all grown apart. We're living on our own. I don't really have friends in my area, so I don't have the option to do that. Also, when I do make friends, like at work, I had this one guy who asked me to borrow Halo Reach. And I never got it back because he quit and then never gave me it back.
Jeez, that is hardcore rage quitting to the point of like,
Yeah.
oh, I hate this game so much. I'm not even gonna give it to the person
Yeah.
that gave it back to me because they don't deserve that in their life. Like
No,
that's
no, no.
the way
So
that they were thinking.
here's how I think it went down. He's like,
Okay.
I have to quit because I don't want to give this game back. I have to get away from him because I'm going to keep the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was always a possibility that like you would give it to somebody and then you would never see that game or movie or whatever it is again. But I guess that is kind of my fear with digital when we have a lot of like streaming platforms and game stores like the eShop and the PlayStation Store,
Yeah.
Microsoft Store, that you technically do not own the game. Like you can buy the game, but they can always take it away from you.
So, do you technically own the game now? Well, Nintendo is probably a different story, but for like PlayStation and Xbox, do you own those games? Because the disc is essentially just a key to unlock the game. You still have to download like 100 gigs or 50
Yeah.
gigs. So, do you even own those games? Like, what happens if those games go off of their shop? Can you still play them, or like how does that work? I don't know, but I knew the eShop. I know this is not a good time to be on the side of digital because the eShops just closed, a few weeks
And we
ago.
lost a ton of games.
Yeah. Question for you though.
Yeah.
You had purchased Pushmo.
Yeah.
Have you
What about it?
played Pushmo yet?
Not yet, Johnny, but I want to.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
no, 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 no. We're not okay. If we're going down this road here, it's because I don't like having a backlog. And right now, I have a backlog of Kirby, Return to Dreamland
Kirby's
Deluxe. I
like
also
3
am
hours
playing.
long.
Have you beat it yet?
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to, just out of principle.
I have Advance Wars that I'm currently playing. The new Cadence, or not new, but Cadence of Hyrule just dropped on the free trial section on the Nintendo eShop. Is that where it's at, or the Nintendo
It's
Online? Where
on,
is that?
I think it's on the eShop, but you could,
Wherever it is,
yeah.
it's for free for a limited time. So like, I want
It's
to
a
play
good
that.
game. You should play it.
It's a good game. It's also digital. So like there is the benefit that I could be playing a game for free without even buying it because it's in digital form. But after that like trial period, I would have to buy it anyway. And I think that that does have a physical copy. Is that correct?
It might, maybe through like limited run games or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like
I don't think
you
they
think that would
plat.
be a limited run?
Yeah, I mean it's an indie
Versus like
game.
yeah, but versus just like a Nintendo because it's published by Nintendo. I think that they
Oh, is it?
would
I
have.
don't like. I don't know because I don't look for physical games. I got that digitally, so I don't know.
So I guess like do you not like get that feeling of a treasure hunt, if you're looking for a specific game that like Metroid Prime Remaster. That was kind of hard to find and for a while like people were kind of scrambling just to get like the physical copy if they wanted the physical copy. For me there's kind of like a thrill that is added to it of like okay, I'm going to find it no matter what. Like if I have to go from store to store, and I know like on the sake of convenience, that's not really convenient. But for people that are collectors and are hunting down old games, is that not something that you get like you don't get that
So
feeling?
I mean, the amiibo behind me tell a different story, right? I had to get all the like I have all the Smash Ultimate amiibo with the exception of like the player twos or something.
Mhm.
But when amiibo came out, I don't know if you remember this. It was like really hard to find certain amiibo.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I waited outside like at Toys R Us when that was still a thing.
Hmm.
I would go super early in the morning. I used to do it for Pokemon cards as well. I understand that feeling, but I get it elsewhere because now I'm into Lego. Like today, I just went to Lego 2 hours before the store opened because I wanted to be the first to get all the Star Wars stuff, even though they're gonna be in stock like immediately.
Right.
Just same
Yeah,
same
but
with the games. Like I guarantee you could go into a store right now and get Metroid Prime remastered. Guaranteed.
probably. Yeah, I think that there is probably a little bit of a sales tactic, sales scare that's like, "Oh, you better get it while you can cuz it's going to be hard to find after." Which they get me every time because I'm like, "Oh, maybe this time they're actually telling the truth." Um and turns out like you can get it later. I think that it's and I was going to bring up this and I think it's probably a little different. If you were able to play or like build Lego sets digitally, would you? And like be able to like purchase them that way versus going out to the store?
Nah, I feel like that would be different. I mean, it's not a different experience when you play a physical game as opposed to a digital game. For
Right.
Lego, it's a different experience, right? You have a tangible item that you're building.
Hmm.
Digitally, it's just, you know, a digital item.
Yeah.
But a game is the same if it's on a disc or if it's not on a disc.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I was like, I shouldn't even bring it up, but I wanted to see what your answer was going to be because, like,
And it
honestly,
was the correct
the
one.
the idea of like building Legos digitally is kind of a cool idea, but at the same time takes away the fun of actually interacting with
You,
those
you know,
pieces.
there's
And
like tons of Lego video games, right?
oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
you actually can do that. You could build
Yeah.
Lego digitally.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. I wasn't thinking in that sense, but yeah, there are video games that you can play that are Lego. I like stories as well. I think I have a lot of stories when it comes to buying physical games and consoles, and you don't really have that same story when you just buy it from the shop, right? Because you're just like,
Yeah,
and
I got
purchased.
it. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I get it from other paths. Like you know, we're having interactions with the Lego now, and then like when Amiibo was a thing, I had different interactions doing that as well.
Mhm.
So I get it from different avenues. You know, I used to buy games. I think I stopped buying physical games the midway through the Xbox One life cycle.
Mhm.
So that was probably, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah,
And
because I've seen your Switch and the way that it looks and all the games that are on it. To me, it is a less impressive than actually seeing like physically just being able to like hold the game in your hands, because you can like scroll and look through all the games that you have purchased. But like, I don't know, even from a content creator standpoint, that wouldn't work for you, right?
what?
Like
Showing off
displaying.
my collection? Dude, I brag about my collection all the time. Have you not seen my videos?
No, because
I just scroll the Switch uh what are they called? The icons, like the tabs, and it's like, you know, I make content on that. It's not the same as like, oh, I went out and got this collector's edition. Like I just did an unboxing with Tears of the Kingdom Switch. You can't really do that with, I'm getting Tears of the Kingdom digitally. I can't have an unboxing video.
but now I want you to.
I think it'd be kind of funny to do like a spoof unboxing,
Yeah.
an
Yeah, 'cause
opening
like,
video.
well, I'm thinking of like how it was on the 3DS, where it was the you would buy it and then it would like
Oh,
come
it'd
in
be
like a
the little
package
gift.
wrapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could have done like an unboxing video for that.
Oh man, well, now that we can't because the eShop shut down, but
Yeah, no. And I just want to clarify, the reason why I don't watch your videos is because I don't want to. Uh
oh my god.
No, for some reason TikTok does not show me your videos. I have followed you and unfollowed you
This is
so many
episode
times to try
1.
to like,
This is episode 1 and you're ripping on me.
well, yeah. They got to know what they're in for, you know?
But I don't know,
I don't
back on track. So you had mentioned before that, we're going to a digital era, right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
So music, like I'm thinking games are the logical next step of what goes digital, fully digital, because music's essentially fully digital. I don't remember the last time buying a CD.
Although vinyl is really huge right now. Like I think they have
I
sold
think
the
it's
most
niche.
vinyl.
I don't know. I think it's niche.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, have you ever listened to a vinyl record?
No.
It sounds completely different than what you would be listening to just like streaming.
But again, that's a different experience, right? That's not
It's
a
true.
game where it's the same exact experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, I was just thinking like music was like the first to go, and then movies are. I haven't bought a DVD in years, longer than I haven't bought a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I have movies like all over the place. Like I have it on Amazon Prime, I have it on Xbox Store or something. I have them everywhere, so it's probably not
Mhm.
the best. And who knows if those shops are even open anymore, and if I could watch them.
I will say, like, if we're going movie route, like digital versus physical, you're going to get a much better experience with a physical copy than you are just streaming. Because that relies on the Wi Fi
Yeah,
and your connection. But if you have a physical DVD, Blu ray, 4K, whatever it is, it's probably going to look a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any issues with just streaming it. But no, I see what you mean. But I just don't. Again, like, where would I put all these DVDs?
Yeah. Yeah, at a certain point it does start to like collect over time. And I used to collect a lot of DVDs and I stopped. So again, like the only thing that I collect still is like just games. And I think that I'm just doing that until I'm told, especially for like Nintendo, just because I obviously have a Nintendo collection. Um, until they say like, "Hey, our next Switch is just digital," I will have to accept it. Like that's just the way it is, and you just have to accept change. It's gonna suck, but like it'll be all right.
I don't think the next console will be fully digital. I do
No.
believe that they'll have an option. They'll have a digital version, kind of like how PlayStation has the digital only PlayStation 5 and
Yeah.
Xbox has the Xbox Series S, which is only digital. So I do see them giving the option of not having that cart slot. I don't know if they'll charge less, but I think it's the route they're going, especially if you look at the signs on what they're doing. They released Metroid Prime 2 weeks earlier digitally,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
so they got people in their ecosystem from the FOMO that they were feeling.
Yep. It
That
also is, it seems like their strategy with digital is always giving out some kind of like platinum points, or there's a reason as to why they want you to download games digitally versus going out and buying it physically, which honestly, from a environmental standpoint, I do not look very good right now. And it's actually something that bothers me when you open up a Switch cartridge or a Switch case. It's just this tiny. If you're looking at the video audio listeners, I'm showing off the Switch case. There's just a place for the cart, and then the rest of it is just giant open
it's just
plastic.
plastic. It's just plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like sometimes you get some nice artwork. Sometimes you don't even get that. It's just a blank slate. Like it just is just this white page that I'm looking at that's like, well, what was the point? Now the plastic is even more worthless. Like you didn't even want to cover it up with art. Also, all these Switch cases have little clippies inside of them, and I think at one point they were wanting to have like instruction booklets, like they did for their previous games, and like every game had some kind of instruction booklet inside. That never happened.
Yeah, I mean the instruction booklets, they went away probably what, the 360 era, because
Maybe.
then they were doing like digital instruction booklets.
Well,
Like
yeah, I
on
was
the
gonna
Wii
say
U,
like,
on the Wii U had the digital instruction booklet that you could just
oh,
access
true.
at any time, which I thought was a really kind of neat feature.
Yeah, I'm assuming that like the whole like instruction booklet era went away when everything could just be found on the internet.
Yeah, and I don't know how useful those. I guess they would show you how to play the game.
Hmm.
Yeah, nowadays it's not. It's probably not worth it.
There was probably some like inside lore, I guess, if you were to like read the instruction booklet. Maybe there was like things that they didn't really explain in the game, but for some reason is just
It's just in
in
the
that.
instructional, yeah, in the booklet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo is trying to get people to go digital. They have the Switch vouchers, the Nintendo Switch Online vouchers,
Yeah,
where you could
yeah.
get Tears of the Kingdom for essentially $50 as opposed to 70. So I do think they are trying to get people to go digital.
Yeah, I agree. I think what would be the smartest thing, and something that drives me crazy, obviously, because I have to switch from cart to cart playing a different game, which I am getting like this product that I'm reviewing that apparently can switch between four different carts. It's like an adapter that's on like the back of the Switch, and then you just insert four different carts, and it's going to be able to like
So it's like a
switch between them.
multi changer disc.
It's a literal game changer. Uh,
I yeah, I can't. I always have one game in my Switch.
mhm.
It's Breath of Wild. I don't change
That's
it.
the only one.
That's the only one.
That
I have like
Do you
I
have
don't
Odyssey? Do you have Odyssey physically?
no.
Whoa, that surprises me.
Why?
I
The
don't
only
know.
reason I have Breath of Wild physically is because
Yeah.
I got it day one at midnight, and I did not want to wait to download it.
Are you getting Tears of the Kingdom digitally or
Yeah, because
physically?
I use the voucher on it,
Mm,
and I want to play it at midnight.
yeah. I get it. I get that it's like this intangible thing that you have it doesn't mean anything. Like for physical collectors. The fact that it's like it surprised me that you don't have Mario because of your love for Mario Odyssey or for Tears of the Kingdom. I guess I just assumed that you would want to have that in your collection. And I understand like you still do in a digital form, but like you're probably not going to go back to your Switch when the new console comes out. Right? So like
Yeah,
all those games are just kind of left behind looking like
unless there's
the
backwards compatibility,
how could that just through your
just through the
Nintendo
eShop. I
account?
mean, that's how PlayStation works, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
could have
yeah, yeah.
PlayStation 4 games on your PlayStation 5
Yeah.
digitally. Doesn't have to be physical.
It's true.
They might. I could see Nintendo pulling something where they have backwards compatibility only for digital games because they didn't want to put a cart slot in their next
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. I think right now what drives me crazy is like I said I have to switch from cart to cart. Um but it doesn't make sense to me as to like if I have Splatoon as a physical copy and I have the cart, I've inserted it into the Switch. Say like I didn't have Splatoon in the slot in the game slot or card slot. What am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to
Yeah, I
say.
know.
You
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
I
You
get it.
get
I
it.
understand.
Um, why can't I just click on the icon and it work?
Oh, so you're saying maybe have the cart be able to download the game onto the system?
Yeah, because in that way, like you are pleasing both the physical audience, but then also, I guess
I
I'm
mean,
accepting the fact that I'm just clicking the digital
yeah,
icon.
yeah. So you're, yeah, I don't even know what to call that. I mean, the the way the PlayStation and Xbox work is you have a disc, you put it in, it downloads the whole game,
Hmm.
but then you still need to put that disc in to play the game. It's like it's the key, right?
Right. Right.
But for Switch, the all the information, well, most games have all the information on the card, so you need the card to play it. Now, for
Hmm.
games like Doom, Spyro, like the ones that are too big for the Switch's cart, you still
Hmm.
have to download stuff. I'm surprised you haven't brought up storage. How digital games on Switch take up more storage than physical.
Oh, true.
I mean,
No, yeah, I didn't bring that up.
because you have to buy, like I had to buy external storage. I bought a 1 terabyte SD card. You know, I probably didn't need a 1 terabyte SD card, but I wanted it, and that was another, $100, over $100
Hmm.
that you wouldn't have to buy.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't work that way for Sony and Xbox because they digital copies are the same size as physical copies. I don't know how that works, but you still would need external storage if you're a physical collector.
Yeah.
And
I think that when it comes to this topic, there really are no winners, there are no losers because like you can say that digital is the winner because it's the way that we're going. You're also losing on the physical side. So like you're not losing the audience because we know that they're still going to buy the games. Like I know I'm still going to buy the games if it just goes completely digital. Um, but you are kind of losing, I guess, that I want to say like importance of gaming. It's not it I mean that's how it all started, right? And like not that it's always going to stay that way. Change is about accepting what is new and what's to come. But like it's amazing to me that today 5 years to the day I was talking about physical versus digital. I made an Instagram post for Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, and they took it off the Wii U eShop.
I forgot they
Even
did
though,
that.
isn't
They
that
did
crazy?
they did that
Yeah.
because the Switch version came out, right?
Well, 5 years ago, when did Tropical
That would have
Freeze?
been around 5 years ago. That came out a while ago on Switch.
I guess so. Maybe it was like
Or they took it off a little bit before the Switch
yeah,
version.
which
'Cause I
still
think they did it with
sucks. I guess.
Pikmin as well. I think they did it with Pikmin 3.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So like, there's possibilities that games could just be taken away from you, or the idea of even purchasing a game is not even available for that option. So
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
s-
to go buy it physically.
I'm so upset that Meme Run is no longer available.
Meme Run?
Yeah, Meme Run. Look
I
it
don't know what
up.
that is.
You should
Okay,
look it
I'll
up.
look it
Look
up.
up a video.
You should be upset about Mario 35 though.
Yeah, that one. What they did with but not only Mario 35, but Mario 3D All Stars, and that had a physical release.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were just like, nope, we're done selling this.
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem, that also had a physical. Well, yeah, they. I don't know why they did that. That was more of that artificial scarcity stuff that they like to do. I guess it wasn't really artificial because it went away. But yeah, I don't know why they would just get rid of a game that they built and it's just there. Like,
Yeah. Like they could have done so much more with it. They probably could have updated it over time. Um, I don't know. And it was fun. Like there were things that, probably needed some work because people were kind of figuring out how to win a little quickly. Um, but yeah, it's a shame that like it was this special thing that is no longer available. And it honestly should have just been left on the Switch.
yeah,
Yeah.
for Nintendo Switch Online users, it was an odd choice, and yeah, it was definitely not a good. I understand. I know all the complaints against digital, and the big one, you don't actually own it. I mean,
Mhm.
I may get philosophical. We don't really own anything, right? We're renting everything until we die,
Uh-huh.
and then we don't have that. We don't own any of this stuff.
That's actually a really fair point because some of those consoles back there are not technically mine. They were like hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I annoyed people when I said that nobody plays the 3DS anymore. Apparently, a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. I think didn't it just wasn't it like a bestseller in Japan recently
Was it? I don't remember.
over
But-
like Xbox S or something?
But my main point, my main thinking about these shops that are shut down is by the time the shop shuts down, I'm not going to care about that system anymore, right? I haven't played the Wii U. I was playing it a little bit for content, but outside of a couple times for content, I haven't played the Wii U in 7 or how. I guess it's 6 years or 7 years since whenever the Switch came out. Same with the 3DS. I haven't played that since the Switch came out. And
Yeah.
whatever's next, it's going to be the same thing. And if they shut down the Switch eShop, I'm not going to care about those games by that point.
Yeah, and like there's always a remaster or an updated version of it because like I'm thinking of Ocarina of Time. N64 version is not great, but if you can find the Ocarina of Time 3DS, It's a way better game to play and should have been added to the expansion pack. I don't understand why they went back to the N64
Yeah,
version of it.
because they're probably going to charge us for it $40-$50 on the next
Probably.
system.
Yep. Just because I don't know and I'm curious, does Fortnite have a physical version?
No. So Fortnite has you'll see it on the shelves, right? You'll see
Oh, but it's like a code.
it's a code, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I have seen it on the shelves, and I was like,
Well,
well, that doesn't really make sense as to why you would buy that.
Yeah.
And live service is kind of going in a different direction, but you have games like Knockout City that is not going to be a game anymore.
yeah.
So that kind of sucks. Again, that's kind of different.
Yeah, I
with
don't know if
physical
that's
versus
really
digital.
digital versus because there was no physical. I don't know if there's a physical copy of that game either. Yeah, that's more
Yeah.
so live service games, and we might be talking about that at some point.
Hey, that's true. We might be talking about that. We also have other topics that we might be talking about. Do you want to tell them what they are, Johnny?
Oh yeah. So, well, are we gonna wrap? Should we wrap it up? I mean, we've been going for
I think this is pretty good, and again, like I enjoyed the conversation that we have because it does make me think about all the games that I've collected. And honestly, like when it comes to digital games, I usually buy like indie games because I don't know if they're going to be physically released. And turns out most of the time they are just like way later down the
Yeah,
line.
you have to wait, like,
you have
forever to get them.
yeah, like Hollow Knight, Hades, Cuphead, like all of those. I've had to wait a long time, and by that time, like I'll just download it digitally. So I understand why people are buying digital games versus physical copies. For me personally, I guess I love the thrill of the hunt. I like having my collection, even if people can't see it.
I can't
it's
see
there
it.
for
What
me.
what even is in that collection? I can't see it.
I like physically holding it in my hand. I don't know. Until they tell me to go digitally, physical is the way that I will end up going.
Yeah, and I have converted fully to digital lifestyle, and I'm not going back. But I do understand the physical positives, of having the tangible item. We even talk about being able to trade it in or sell it.
Mhm.
Having that opportunity.
I didn't even bring that up because like you're not gonna get much.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could sell it on eBay or that was a big problem that I had when I was buying physical games. I would buy them and then I would just trade them in or sell them, and then I would regret it. Like I sold my whole GameCube collection to buy college books, and I regret that. And that's one of the main
Ooh.
reasons. One of the main reasons why I don't buy physical is because that takes it out of my hands. Right? I can't
Yeah.
do that. But yeah. The being able to trade with your friends or loan them out. Like, I understand those positives. You're not going to have to deal with a shop shutting down unless it's Xenoblade Chronicles X and you can't download the update. But I don't know, digital. My life has not changed for the worse since the Wii U and 3DS eShops have gone away. It has not affected me in any way. I don't feel like I need to play those games. Never will. So
I'm gonna hit you with
now.
one more. I'm gonna hit you with one more thing though.
Okay.
So you have said before, like your uncle had like a huge influence on you for gaming. Would he hand you the games physically and be like, "Hey, try this out," or would like how did all that go down?
I mean, yeah, he would give me a Christmas present or a birthday present.
Yeah.
So I remember he gave me Metroid Prime on the GameCube. I think he got me Pikmin. But yeah, he would give me a game every Christmas. So I mean that's a fond memory. Like that's sticking with me, and I'm kind of using that. I have a nephew of my own, and I have given him physical. I gave him Nintendo Switch Sports physically. Gave him Mario Kart physically. But
that was the point I was going to bring up, was that I know you've said on the Nintendo Powercast that you are kind of fill in the role of like what your uncle did for you for your nephew. And I think that it just probably means more to like hand him a copy of a game that you really like, or as a present. You can give the gift digitally, and it probably has the same sentiment behind it. But it's like you have now handed over this thing that you love to someone else that you love and want to see them react to maybe like how you react, or just to see the reaction in general and see if it's the same or if it's different.
So I will also say I gave him an SD card.
Oh, okay.
So he can download games if he wants. He's 6, but also like I feel like we're going down this path, but I get anxious because he changes his mind. He's 6, so he changes his mind what he wants to play like every 2 minutes. So he has to take the card out and put the new one in and keep doing it back and forth. And he never closes the game before he does it, so it always gives him an error. And I'm like, it would be so much easier if these were just digital.
Yeah, no, I get that. And like, so cards aren't like going missing.
Yeah, because they're tiny. The cards are tiny.
Yep.
I get it, but I will be digital unless for some reason we revert back to physical only.
That would be very interesting. I would.
Blockbuster's coming back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I think that is where we are ending our conversation. As far as future episodes, what do we have that could just be down the line?
So next episode will probably be the community comments. So if you have anything you want to add to the conversation, yell at us for something that we forgot or whatever. Just yell at us. I don't care. So that will be the next episode. And then the topics that we have down the line, we have, does Nintendo need a battle royale? Or I guess are battle royales still a thing, right? Are they still the thing that they need?
Yeah, and it probably could go in the direction of like Nintendo, if Nintendo needs a battle royale.
Yeah. Do we like live service games? Should there be difficulty settings in each game? I'm a huge From Software fan, so no. And do games need achievements? I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, those are just some of the ideas that we have. So if you are wanting us to talk about a certain topic for gaming, it doesn't have to be just Nintendo. I think we probably are more familiar with Nintendo, and that's kind of our brand anyway. It can be anything. So just shoot us some ideas, and maybe it will be on the show. And we hope that you enjoy listening. And make sure you leave us comments, 5-star reviews, anything that can help us. We would really appreciate it. Again, we'll try to get you on the show if you do so. Johnny, you have any closing words?
Nah, I thought this was pretty civil. I
think so.
You know, this was like the first one. I didn't know how it was going to go. Digital versus physical is like one of the main topics that people debate about all the time. So it could have went either way, but I think it stayed pretty civil.
Yeah, and hopefully if people listen to this episode, they'll be able to understand where we both are coming from, because it doesn't have to get, it doesn't have to get like into an angry discussion.
Yeah.
People are very passionate about it, but like there's reasons to see both sides, I think.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had fun. I can't wait for to hear what everybody has to say. And the next one, I'm ready for the next one already.
Yeah. Again, you can follow us on Com Air Podcast on all the socials. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify.
If the links are working, you should be able to click on them. But I don't know. There was some. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Oh yeah, we're all very new to this, and it's just going to get better over time. If you have ideas or suggestions, let us know. But I think that is where we're gonna leave this. We gotta have like
Yeah.
an ending tag.
I know.
think for our episodes. We'll figure that out.
But yeah, that was fun. Talk to everybody next time.
Bye.